I kicked him out the following morning after confronting him and filed for separation sometime after. For the next 2 months, he had been begging for forgiveness, then complaining and insulting me that I'm not letting him see his kids or that I'm stopping him from going with me to the doctor's appointments, which I had been. We had planned months earlier about who was going to be in the labor room. It was going to be my mother and my husband. He called when I was 35 weeks, questioning the labor situation. At this point, he had moved into my ex-friend's house shortly before this call. I said no, and he got very angry. Lots of my in-laws and family members told me to put our differences aside for our baby. I still said no. I gave birth to my son with my mother and sister present and didn't feel any regret about my choice. After my second birth, I just wanted to make sure this one was as stable as possible, which it was. We were going to name our child after his father who passed away. I went along with it to make him happy, but changed my mind and picked a name I had always loved since childhood. This aggravated him even more. Am I the asshole? Because I'm being guilt-tripped by many people right now. All I want is for everyone to leave me alone and for me to just be with my kids. There is an update 11 months later.
Oh.
So I'm back nearly after a whole year. I completely forgot about this post because I've been so wrapped up in other things. For anyone who doesn't want to read this whole post, here's a summary. I'm not going to read the summary. Like I said, it's basically been a whole year. My baby turned 1 today, and after celebrating his birthday and Christmas with my kids, it finally hit me that this is my new reality. First of all, my ex-husband and I finally went through with the divorce proceedings. I had been holding it off during my pregnancy and the early postpartum period to avoid added stress and to carefully plan for my children and myself. I was awarded primary physical custody of our children. Their dad visits once a week, and the 2 older kids, 7 and 4, spend every other weekend with him. My youngest will start doing the same in a couple of months, which makes me nervous. He's especially clingy with me. All my kids are, but my youngest has really only known me as the most present parent. One of the main stipulations in our custody agreement is that my ex-affairs partner is prohibited from seeing the kids. My poor kids have been confused enough by their parents suddenly splitting, and I didn't want them even more confused by seeing their quote-unquote aunt, who is supposed to be mommy's best friend, with their dad. It was deemed emotionally detrimental in court.
Nice.
As for the baby name, he's been so bitter about it. I think he's still annoyed about it. His side has been trying to convince me to change the name to something we both like, especially after the divorce was finalized. But it's been a year now, and the baby quite literally answers by the name I give to him, so I'm not going to be changing it. He was also unhappy with the child support payments, among other payments, and asked for some revisions. One main thing he asked to change was the cost of our kids' school tuition. He pays for the